For the first scenario, I'm going to show how to sign an interactive PDF form using the Adobe Sign dashboard. So here we've got an interactive PDF form. You'll see that I can click in, type in my name, for instance, and typically a form like this would be used where somebody would fill in the data, they could choose some options, but then down at the bottom what they would do is print out this document and then sign it with a pen and either fax it or mail it back to we.finance. So what we're going to do is show how we can process this form and send it out for electronic signature using Adobe Sign. Let's just close this form. This is the Adobe Sign dashboard. I'm logged in as my user account, and you'll see that we belong to we.finance here. And what we're going to do is to get this document filled and signed by the client. I'm going to click on Request Signatures. Enter the recipient's email address. I'm going to add Jane Smith. In this particular scenario, I want to have a document signed by the client, and then I have to be a secondary signer. So in that case, I'll put my email address here in as the secondary signer, in the secondary signer position. Next, I will then go over to my desktop where I have my folder open, and I'm just going to take that PDF form and drag it into the web page, and you can see it says Deferment Application. Now at this point, I'm ready to go. I could click on Send and it would go to Jane Smith's email. But if I want, I can also click on Preview and add any additional fields to this particular form. And in this case, I do need a signature block. So I'm going to click on Next. Adobe Sign will load that document, detect where all of the interactive fields are and replace them with Adobe Sign fields. And then we have a dashboard here down the right hand side. We have a number of different types of fields and Adobe Sign objects that we can drag and drop out onto our document. So important to note that this does not need to be an interactive PDF. It could just be a regular PDF form that you've it could be a regular PDF document that you've created, and you could add whatever fields you want onto it. You'll see that if I go to data fields, they've got things like text input, drop-down list box, checkbox, radio buttons, and an image as well. What I'm going to just do here for speed is I'm going to go to signature fields and then drag a signature block over onto the signature of account holder. And then I'm going to drag another signature block over to where we have the we.finance advisor/manager, and that would be the one that I need to sign. So if I double click that object, I can go into the configuration and it detects what email addresses were set up in the dashboard, and I can choose the one for each person. I'm going to click OK. Lastly, I'm going to go to the category down the right hand side called More Fields. And you'll notice that on my text it says, please include any supporting documentation with this application. So I'm going to add a file attachment object as well to this particular document. All right, I'm ready to go with this one. I think I'm pleased with the fields. You'll notice that the fields with asterisks, Adobe Sign has automatically detected that those are going to be required fields. If there was another field on here that I wanted to be required, I can double click on the field and you can set whatever properties you want on here, and you can see I could just check it as being required, and then the asterisk shows up for that field as well. All right, let's click on Send. And now this document will be sent to Jane Smith via email notification. If I go over to another browser where I'm logged in to my email client, into a web-based email client as Jane Smith, you'll see that if I just do a quick refresh here, I can see a new email that's just popped in. It says signature requested, deferment application, and it came from me. So if I open that, I can get more information here, click on review and sign, and at that point it will open up a web-based tab here that has my form. It has a little message there at the top asking what's required of the user, and here I'm just going to fill in some of the mandatory fields here. account number. Let's put in an address. Email address was now required. And let's just go right over to, let's go to the state drop-down. You'll notice that this is a drop-down list box that's been added. And let's choose California, and we might as well fill it all in here. Let's go San Jose, California, put in the zip code, and then the last 4 digits of the social security number. And then I can click on next, and it should take me to the next portion of the form. Wants to know loan payments, and when was my last loan payment date. Let's put a date in there. This is a home loan. And then lastly, what I'm going to do is, you'll see that it says click here to sign. Also, we added a file attachment down at the bottom. So let's do that first. I'll click on file attachment. I can now go in, search my local system for a document maybe that I've scanned in or created, and I'm just going to go to sign demo. I have a void check for, I know it probably doesn't make a lot of sense, but I'm going to choose that particular image file, load it up, and then lastly I'm going to sign the document. Now when it comes to signing, I have 4 options. I can just type in the name and it simulates a signature, or if I am on a touch device, a mobile device, I can go to draw, and I could literally use my finger or a stylus to go and create a signature on that. If I have a scanned image of my signature, I could upload it using the image icon. And lastly, you'll notice that there's one here that says mobile, which what that does is if I click on that, it'll ask me for my phone number and of my mobile device, and it will send me a text message where I can click on the text message, sign the image on my mobile phone, and then it returns it back to my signed session that is running on my desktop. Anyway, let's just go back to the type one, and I'll click on apply. And so now that's been applied to the document, and my final step to sign this document and make it legally binding is to click on that sign button. We've already determined who Jane Smith is, and we're sure that this is her, and in that case there'll be a legally signed document as a result. All right, so there you go. You see it says you're all set, and you finish signing the deferment application. Next, Peter LaBelle will sign. So if I jump back over to my own browser, my other one here, and I go to my email, I should be able to see, if I do a refresh here, that there'll be some emails of sign where I've sent one out, and one was, signed, and then you'll see that Jane Smith has signed this one. But what I'd like to do for today is show you how to sign this on a mobile device as well. So I'm going to open up, I'm going to just simulate this. I'm going to bring up my my phone here. And this is my iPhone that I'm using right now. And so Adobe does provide a mobile app for iOS and Android devices. And you'll see that I've got an Adobe Sign icon on my desktop here. So if I go and click on that with my finger, the Adobe Sign opens up, and it may need to just do a quick little refresh for me. You'll see that there it is. You'll see that it says waiting for you, and then I also have another one there. There's another signed document that is out right now that says waiting for others. I'm going to click on waiting for you, go into my deferment application. There's the application that Jane just signed. If I turn my phone sideways, I might be able to see some of the details a little bit better there. And as I scroll down, I can see the Jane Smith signature on that document, and it's waiting for mine. So using the mobile app, I can sign the document. And if this is something that I'm doing a lot, it's going to remember what my signature looks like from previous signing ceremonies. And you'll see that there's a tab down at the bottom that says tap to sign. And if I go and click on that, it should just immediately add my signature on there. If I did want to change that signature, I can click it, choose change, and here I can now sign with my finger, and then click on done and finish. All right. So that's the signing ceremony on a mobile phone. It works really great. What I'm just going to do here is take my phone out of the presentation, and what we'll do is we'll go back and take a look at two things. One is Jane Smith's email. So if we close the tab here, go back to Jane's email, and do a quick refresh, you can see that we have now completed deferment application. And of course, if I was to open that up, it's going to show the signed document by both parties. More important for the sender, if I go out and take a look at the email here, I have a signed document that came back. It says the deferment application between We.Finance, Jane Smith, and Peter LaBelle is signed and filed. And if I go and take a look at that document, a couple of things that I think you'll find interesting here. Of course, all of the data is in there. It's signed by both parties. And as I scroll down, it's also included the attachments converted to PDF and combined into the same document. And also it will have all of the audit trail of the entire signing ceremony captured on a final document. This is what the sender will get. The signer does not get this attachment automatically in their document. So this is a PDF that could be suitable for archiving and long-term storage in your content management system.